Now, we've got a couple of Batman topics that we're talking about here today, and of course we are. It's only 1 week away till game day. But yeah, but Rob came in this morning, and the first thing he said when he walked into the studio, he said, man, how about that Catwoman in the safe clip from Batman, huh? And I'm like, excuse me? What is this? What is this you're speaking of? There is a brand new clip that just came out from the Batman, and we've seen glimpses of this clip in other things. Like we've seen it in a trailer spot and in a promo spot a little bit. Instead of, a traditional Catwoman mask, she's wearing that ripped out ski mask thing, which I think looks awesome.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. Well, they did put out this new clip today that is now out, and you can go and find it. And basically it's just a very simple clip of Catwoman breaking into a place. And she just very slowly, as she finds this safe, she rolls out her tools and very intricately, it's not just, grab a screwdriver and open it. No, she grabs all these different delicate tools, places each thing at the right time, and actually showing that Catwoman is the master thief, right? They show her off as the absolute master thief. And then, as she's breaking into the safe, what does he say to her? You're good at that, or something like that.
Yeah,
Batman comes up behind her and says, like, you're pretty good at that, or you find what you're looking for, or whatever. Because Batman did what Batman does. He was able to sneak in behind her. She had no idea. And then the fight. And the fight does two things to me that is absolutely awesome.
And this is what I was asking you about.
Yeah. Number one, it's showing us Catwoman's moves. Because Catwoman's got moves, like serious hardcore moves. But the other thing, Batman ain't being jobbed by anybody. He's not even breaking a sweat. She's throwing everything at him, and he's like, like not even breaking a sweat until he slams her down, takes the book, and she's like, give that back and whatever. I got to tell you, I'm watching this, and this is just a little sample, all right? I get it. It's a little tiny sample. But the sample, if that's the DNA of what we're getting in this movie, if that's what these fights are going to feel like with impact and with a real kinetic energy, and if they show Batman as the baddest motherfucker on the planet, and like even Catwoman who's got all these moves, I'm watching this and I'm like bouncing up and down my chair, my blood is flowing. I'm so freaking excited. This is my most anticipated movie of the year, and it's just getting even more. 1 week cannot pass fast enough. Rob, anyway, you're the one who told me about this clip. What did you think of it?
Well, I think I felt the same way that you did. I mean, when I watched this, I think the way it's shot and the way the fight scene is choreographed tells us a lot about the approach to the film. I mean, normally we see a lot of these fight scenes in superhero movies. They're either trying to cover up how the characters move or the limitations in the costumes. And edits can be used to create what I call false action. When you cut something, you can make the viewer jar. Like an actual cut is almost like a punch. So you can use, rather than having great punches, you can use edits quickly and make people think they're seeing a better fight scene than they are. When you see real fight choreography and you see whether they're using stunt doubles or whatever, it changes the whole tenor of what you're watching. This little tiny snippet made me think to myself, and the same thing, the ferocity of Pattinson in that trailer when he's beating the hell out of that one guy. This film has gone out of its way more than any other Batman movie. And I'm just, again, I know people are going to be, but Rob, you're only looking at a small clip. It's true, but if you even look at how when you look at how Batman gets Catwoman on the table, there's a sexual thrill there too,
which is what you want to have between Batman and Catwoman.
Absolutely. And yet it's done in the context of the fight. Now this is going to seem a little highfalutin, but watching these different things happen in just this little clip, it shows Batman is a great fighter. It shows Catwoman is capable. It also shows the sexual tension between the two of them, and the way it's shot, the way it's directed and edited. This little bit shows me we're going to get a Batman movie unlike any we've seen so far, and I think it's going to hit harder and faster, and I mean that figuratively, not just literally, than any Batman movie we've ever seen.
Here's the thing. Go back to what should have been an awesome movie, Snake Eyes. You go to that. To please the audience, we're not going in looking for Shakespeare. It's not going to be hard to please me to see this. Just show some badass ninja action. And instead, they took a little iguana and then they pumped a bunch of cocaine into the iguana, right? This poor little iguana. And then they strapped a GoPro onto this high as a kite fucking iguana. Said, you're the cameraman, iguana. And the iguana's got his camera and he's doing this. And you can't see a damn freaking thing of what's going on in the action, that thing. But let's go back over and take a look at this again. How many camera cuts in this action? Look at that. Wide shot, strike, 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 strike. Only camera cutting when the action stops to give us character perspectives. All the action is held in place in the frame so we as the audience can see the action, feel the visceralness of it. It's not artificial. It looks great. Why can't more filmmakers understand that if you have good action, proper cinematography still counts in action sequences?
Dude,
I don't know why more guys don't get this.
It's everything. The problem is they're hiding their deficiencies. Shaky cam and quick cutting hides the deficiencies of the costumes and the performers. That's why they got Jackie Chan's stunt crew to come over and choreograph Shang-Chi. You know, that fight scene in the bus. A lot of that. There's
one of the best I've ever seen.
You know, what's interesting is if you see one punch thrown and then you have a cut, that's fake. What you want is you want to see multiple punches thrown. You want to see feints. You want to see blocks in the same frame. That Catwoman clip, the far shot when you see her kicking at him, she does a few moves. You can't fake those moves. They have somebody who's really doing something for real. And then, like you said, when the action stops, you move to a character perspective, then you're not cheating the audience, and nor are you cheating the sequence. You're making the sequence, that's a beautifully constructed action scene. And you're right, we just don't get those anymore.
At least not enough, and not in great stuff. And it's encouraging to me when I see a shot like this from the Batman. It's like, if that's what your action is going to be like it reminds me back to that first trailer. When the Batman, now granted, we don't see the guy's face and his skull getting crushed. But when Batman takes that guy down and he says, I'm vengeance or whatever, and he gets on top of him, what does Matt Reeves do? He sets the camera with the cinematographer, locks it in place, and says, okay, Robert, start pretending like you're wailing on the guy. And it's just a still frame of Batman going, boom, 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 and it doesn't move from it. Or when we see him walking down the hall and the guy shooting machine guns, it's one camera shot. When he's on that platform fighting those two other guys with guns, it's one camera shot. It tells me they're going to put in great fight choreography and say, you know what? Let's not hide this great choreography. Let's make sure everybody can see it great. And if this is what we have in store for us for the Batman, I'm damn excited.
Well, and you know, you just pointed something out. I mean, what you're doing is you're relying more on the audience's intellect than their senses. So what I mean by that is you can, if you're making somebody's perception, the audience's perception, go all over the place with edits or motion, you're not allowing the audience to look at something like if the camera's still and Batman's walking forward and you're seeing bullets bounce off Batman that are being shot by a machine gun, your intellect kicks in and you're thinking to yourself, I mean, that's badass, as opposed to having your perception jostled, which creates this fake sense of action. The other way is always better, because it allows the audience to wonder, if I was the Batman getting shot by a machine gun, that would suck. So, you know, it's a whole different approach to filmmaking.
Well, guys, the question is for you. Have you had a chance to see this clip from the Batman? I think it looks awesome. Maybe you're like Rob and you're like, no, I'm done. I don't want to see any more clips or whatever. But I'm telling you what, this thing has got me really excited. I think if this is the kind of filmmaking we can look forward to in this Batman movie, I'm damn hyped. What did you guys think about it? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.